In discussing the fourth commandment, the Catechism speaks of the duties of family members, that family members have duties and responsibilities toward one another, and the Catechism specifies what these duties are. The honor and respect owed to parents by their children derives from God's fatherhood and the natural affection born of the bond uniting them. Honor and respect are required by the fourth commandment. Filial piety, respect for one's parents, is derived from the virtue of gratitude, being grateful for the gift of life, being grateful for not only the gift of life, but also for all of the nurturing that parents provided along the way. When living at home, the child should obey his or her parents when it is for his or her own good or that of the family, and when it does not violate the child's conscience. Adult children are obliged to respect their parents, anticipating their needs, seeking their advice, and accepting their admonition. Obedience to parents ceases with the emancipation of children. But even though at emancipation, leaving home, as it were, as an adult, the child no longer must obey the parent, still the child has the responsibility to pay attention to the parents and take care of the parents as much as possible. Grown children have responsibilities toward their parents, which includes material and moral support as much as they can. Filial piety also extends between brothers and sisters. Being raised in the same family carries with it the obligation of respect and care and concern. With all humility and meekness, with patience, support one another in charity. The fourth commandment also speaks about grandchildren, and that grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and children are called to respect and express gratitude for parents in the faith, including godparents, pastors, catechists, etc. So our responsibilities toward our natural parents are extended, and we are to show respect for those who exercise any type of fatherhood or motherhood in our life. Parents have duties to their children. Fecundity means more than procreation. It extends to the moral education and spiritual formation of children. Nothing can substitute for the role of parents in the education of their children. Parents teach their children some fundamental lessons that cannot possibly be replaced by even the finest school. Parents share with their children their attitudes toward the faith, their attitude toward learning, and this is a very, very important foundation for children to have as they are educated and formed. The right and the duty of parents to educate their children are primordial and inalienable. Parents must give their children the respect they deserve as children of God. Educating them fulfills God's law. Parents are the primary educators of their children, and this is accomplished by creating a home filled with tenderness, forgiveness, respect, fidelity, and disinterested service. It includes education in the virtues, teaching self-denial, sound judgment, and self-mastery, and giving good example, subordinating natural and instinctual dimensions to interior and spiritual ones. Parents who cultivate respect for religion, respect for prayer, respect for that quiet time to spend with God are doing their children a great service because they're teaching children a lesson that goes beyond the things of this world to the things that are eternal. The home is a natural environment for teaching and learning about responsibility. In the home, parents can teach about the importance of avoiding the negative influences of the world. Parents are given matrimonial grace for the task of evangelizing their children. They are the first heralds of the gospel for their children, and parents can associate their children from their tenderest years with the life of the church. A wholesome family can foster interior dispositions that are a genuine preparation for a living faith and remain a support for it throughout one's entire life. Through the family, parents can pass on to their children a very deep and wholesome spirituality, a way of looking at the world, a way of honoring God, a way of looking at oneself and seeing the importance of the virtues, including the virtue of chastity. Children learn from their parents this most important virtue. Providing for the physical and spiritual needs of their children is an expression of parents' respect and affection. As the children grow up, the same respect and devotion leads parents to educate them in the right use of their reason and freedom. Parents have a right to choose a school for their children which corresponds to their own convictions, and this right is fundamental, and public authorities have a duty to guarantee this right and to ensure the concrete conditions for its exercise. And when children become adults, they have the right and the responsibility to choose how they are going to live. They have a right to choose their career, their vocation. The family is that which helps children to understand themselves and their role in society and God's call in the midst of all of that. Parents may give judicious advice, but must not exert pressure in regard to choice of profession or spouse. Some forego marriage in order to care for their parents or brothers and sisters, to give themselves more completely to a profession, or to serve other honorable ends. They can contribute greatly to the good of the human family. Finally, the Catechism speaks of the family and the kingdom of God. Family ties are not absolute. The first vocation of the Christian is to follow Jesus. Parents should respect and encourage a child's vocation from God. A vocation to consecrated life or the priesthood should be welcomed by parents with joy and thanksgiving.